Hi everyone, welcome back to Trading Wars, and we're here for another day on the battlefield. Today I'm going to be breaking down the intraday price action for the S&P 500, specifically looking at support and resistance, setups, target setting, the general outlook for tomorrow, and what your P&L would look like if you had an account size of $20,000. So if you're ready, let's step into the war zone. All right, guys. So coming into today, we need to draw our support and resistance areas. That's the first thing you should be doing every day. So obviously today is Monday. It's a little bit of a trickier day to trade because there's no direction that's already set. So we look at the weekly chart. I have the futures chart over here. We're going to look at the weekly chart. So we had a double hammer for the last 2 weeks, which is indicating some type of buying down here. And we could come into this week with a bias of going long. So I'm going to draw the levels first. So I already have them kind of marked here, but I'll show you guys again. So this ends up being Friday's high. So this is an area of support since we opened here. And this is April 20th's high as a resistance. So those are the really main levels you need to have on your chart. This below us support, above us as resistance. So we're definitely coming in today looking for some opportunities at this support to go long. However, we get the gap up and we do not come down there. So what do we do? That's the question, right? So if we look at this, we have this gap up, and this gap up itself is saying that there's strength in the market. And that's goes into the second point that I wanted to talk about today about setups and bias. You need to know your bias coming into the day. You can't trade both sides. So many people want to go long, then go short, then go short, then go long, and that's how you lose money. You need a bias at the beginning of the day so that you limit your trades, you limit your risk, and you take only the best setups. We're not trying to take bad setups. We want setups that have a high accuracy, okay? So the setup today, once we can't fill this gap, we just kind of trend. So how do you get in on this trade? So something I mentioned in my other video is these hammer candles. These hammer candles are buying power, right? And if we take a Fibonacci, a simple Fibonacci from the low to high of the day, we can find that these hammer candles were sitting right on 50% Fibonacci's at that time, right? So your setup would be to get in above this high, a stop loss, either at the 786 or at the low of the day, and taking that long because of the bias that's already established, okay? So we take that long, and if you just rode it all day, kind of trailing at these swing lows, you would have hit 2R, and you would have made your targets. So now let's look at the other side. For shorts, how would shorts play? Well, we have this resistance that we talked about from April 20th. This was a major pivot point for the market where the market collapsed. Not collapsed, but it had a significant drop. So if you're a bear, you're looking at this level for this short. And we have the perfect setup when we come to this area of resistance. We have this inverted gravestone hammer, right? And this is an entry you could have shorted here with a stop loss above here. And depending on your setup, you would have either made 1R or you would have went break even. So I took the conservative approach and saying break even. You know, once we're at 1, right? Once we're at 1, let me draw this for you guys real quick. So we take the short here like this, stop loss below the high. So once we get to 1, which is somewhere around here, you need to move your stop loss to break even. Why? Because you're going against the trend of the day. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's anything good or bad to doing each setup. It's just you need to know when you need to tighten up your risk and minimize your exposure. That's all we can do as traders is mitigate risk. So that's what your focus should be. So in terms of target setting, just taking this long here and going for a 2R, you would have hit your 2. Or what you could have done, something that I like doing, is drawing up the fibs and having this as guidance for where your target should be. And if we do a low to high, 50%, and then we have our targets here lining up, 50%, 618, 786, you could use these as guidance for where you need to be getting out. For the shorts, it's really tough for a short opportunity here. You would just have to go to break even and just suck it up, come back tomorrow. So overall on the day, if we're looking at a P&L, what it would be. So if we're using $20,000 as a starting balance and we're risking 1 to 2% of our account with this long, that's easily $800 for a 2R. And then for the short, I'm going to have a break even though you could have made a 1. I'm just going to be conservative. So overall, you know, this is Monday. There's 4 more days to go to the week. and you keep going, you keep chugging along with the best setups. You take the highest probability setup. Again, the highest probability setup today was gap up, long context from last week. We get this hammers, we get this Fibonacci pullback into the mid Bollinger Band, and we just take this and see where it goes. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. You lose 1 hour, you come back tomorrow. And that's what I really wanted to focus on today. In terms of outlook for tomorrow, let's go back to the futures chart. Let's look at the daily, right? So we have this approaching this previous high, and it looks like we're going to break through. But we won't know until we see the price action overnight and we see which direction the gap's in. Then we can use that information to have a better idea of what's coming for the intraday action. So thanks everyone for joining me today. It was a very intense battle, I would say. There was attempts by shorts, there's attempts by longs. Looks like the bulls are a little bit in control right now, but we'll see how the price action plays out for the rest of the week. Thanks for joining me. Guys, I linked the Twitter below. Check that out. I'm putting live entries and exits to help you guys out, and let me know if you need help with anything in particular. I'll be glad to do that. All right, have a great day.